Hi, and welcome to the 20th video in our Cybersecurity Lab for Beginners series. In the last couple videos, we have taken a look at WASA and how to integrate VirusTotal with it, how to kind of look at the IT hygiene in WASA, but we also looked at the vulnerabilities in WASA, and we saw that on our host endpoint, at least if you've been following these exact videos, we had some vulnerabilities related to VirtualBox, which can entail you can have a lot more vulnerabilities based on any application that you have installed on your system. And oftentimes applications won't have auto updates, which means you now have outdated software on your computer, which tends to usually lean on the side of having vulnerabilities also potentially exposed on your system. And then this way, threat actors can actually abuse those vulnerabilities and perform some nefarious things on your computer or on your network. What we can actually use in our lab here is something called Action1, which is a patch management system. It also does quite a bit of other things that we're also going to check out as well. But this video, we're going to be more focusing on the patch management side alone of Action1. Now, the great thing about Action1, now I do have to actually mention, this video is not sponsored by Action1 at all. This is just something that I've used, and I find it is very neat and gives you a really good free option. Now, again, kind of like what we saw with Nessus free tier, be aware sometimes their free editions can definitely get degraded to where it might not be super helpful. But right now, Action1 allows you 200 endpoints managed for free. So we're going to sign up, we're going to log in, and we are going to actually set up an agent on our host of our cybersecurity lab. We're going to install the agent on there, and we're going to see what we can actually see from the Action1 dashboard. And you're going to see, we're going to see vulnerabilities, installed software, which yes, we've seen that with WASA, but we're going to have a second dashboard for it. And we're also going to have the ability to actually deploy the updates, which that is where Action1 really comes in handy. So let's go ahead and let's just go to action1.com. So I'm already here. I'll have the link in the description as well. And you're going to see that they have a free edition here. So we're just going to click on that free edition. And you're going to say free patch management forever. First 200 endpoints are always free. Scale as needed, automated vulnerability remediations for operating system and third-party applications. A free initial vulnerability assessment. So like I said, it does do vulnerability assessment. But again, WASA is going to be probably your main tool for that vulnerability scanning, that theme. That's really your all-encompassing security application. And then you're going to have Action1 as your patch management. And then you also will have built-in remote access and endpoint management. Now that does require verifying your account. But again, we'll get into that in later videos. But let's just go ahead and let's sign up here. So you can actually just click on the start now, and that's actually going to pop up something here, which is going to let you create your account. You're going to select the region that you're in. I selected Global North America. And then you put in your email here. So I had already put in jackprogrammer@outlook.com. That is the email of the channel. We've created that. So I actually already have an account. Basically, it's going to ask you for your name, a password, and then it's going to send you a verification code, which you're going to verify, as that is basically your multi-factor authentication. Now, I know that it says corporate email here. It worked for me with just a regular Outlook account. So here we're just going to say have an account, log in here, and we're actually going to explore the Action1s. I'm just going to put Global North America, going to put that email in there, and then just going to type in the password. And then it's going to ask for a verification code here, which these usually go to my junk mail. So let me just go and grab that verification code. And we are now in. Now, you're going to see when you first log in, you're going to get greeted with this screen because I've reset my account to where I don't have any agents installed yet. So You will have to download the agent for the operating system that you so desire to install it on. Now, because we are installing it on our host machine, we are going to be installing it for Windows. So we are going to click on the download MSI here, and that will actually download the agent installer. And all we're going to do is we're just going to go and look at the agent installer, double click on it, and we're going to go ahead and just click through these screens here. And it's already done, so we can go ahead and close that, and we can come back to our screen here, and you're going to see that it's already assessing software vulnerabilities, checking for missing updates. So it's actually just running through all the configurations here, and there it is. So the agent's been successfully installed. It's now connected to the Action1 cloud. We can click on Start Managing here. And this will actually bring up our machine here. So we can actually see our machine. Now, what I actually find here is that even with the default zoom of 100%, I'm actually not even zoomed in here. It does look pretty bad, but I think if we just do that, it does help. But I still find that zooming out a little bit does help. And I think that if we put dark mode on, I think that will make it a little bit easier for you guys to read as well. So here we can actually see that endpoint that's connected. We are connected. It's got a Windows 11. It does say no vulnerable software yet, but it does say missing updates, 5 non-critical. And you will see missing updates is Teams right now. We don't see VirtualBox. Now, one of the things is that Action1 it has a list of supported third-party updates. So it will not actually update all the third-party things. You might still have some applications that will need to be managed by hand or by another service. But here we will actually see we are actually getting more missing updates just loading in here. So we can see that we have some driver updates that are missing here. And we can see that our Microsoft Teams, we have one version here that's installed, and we have the latest version. And that's about it. So we only have really 5. We're just going to give it a little bit more time. But you're going to see here we have a lot of different options. So you can deploy software, which that we will see in a separate video here. But we can deploy updates, which that is the really, really awesome things. Now, I know that we had really focused in on that VirtualBox, but as we can actually see, VirtualBox is not on there, and that's okay because, like I said, it's got a list of supported third-party software, not all of it. And you can actually see that list. I believe they actually publish that list as well, but they also have a full-blown software repository as well. So if we actually click on here, you can actually see all the different applications that you can also deploy to an endpoint. So they do have quite a bit of different software here. And I'm sure if I actually look that up for VirtualBox, we won't see anything. And that could be from Action1. That could also be on Oracle's part of just not wanting to support it. But the MySQL workbench is there. So maybe VirtualBox will be there eventually, but just be aware that not everything. So if you do find some vulnerable software with Waza, it is very handy to check with Action1 to go see if you could update it that way, but you might not be able to. That is something that might be. But we can see that we can go look on the installed software. So here we will actually see, very similarly to Waza, all the software that is installed on the system here. And we will actually see that we do have Oracle VirtualBox here, and we do see that the version is 7.1.12, and 7.1.12 here is the newest update according to Action1, which we know is not true. There is an actual update, because if we just open up the VirtualBox, we can see that it does have an option for 7.2.4. Now, one of the things with VirtualBox, you're going to notice that the update isn't necessarily an update. It's more you're just downloading the version of that software. So that is one of the things with VirtualBox. It's not really an update. You're actually really just installing a whole new version of VirtualBox. But here we can actually see that Teams is available for an update. And we did see it on our list here. If we go click on our endpoint, missing updates, we can see Teams here. So let's go ahead and let's do the checkbox on Teams here. And let's click deploy updates. So here we're going to see that the selected updates is for Microsoft Teams. And we are going to click on next. And here you're going to see select endpoints. It is automatically going to run on that endpoint here, which is the Rich Win 11 here. We're going to click on next. And it's going to say a schedule. So we can either run it now or we can actually run it at a specific time. We can also schedule it. We're just going to do the run once and run now. We want to update that software right now. We don't really care about it later on. And we're going to click on finish here. And here we can actually see that the automation is started. So here it is running. So it's waiting for the endpoint to run the automation. And here it's starting the action. And all deployment requirements are met. So it's running. So it's downloading the installation package for Microsoft Teams. It gives you that new update package. And this can take a little bit of time to actually perform. So let's go ahead. Let's just pause the recording. We're going to come back when it's all complete. And just a little update. So it's all done downloading now. So we actually just see here that it's actually updated the status to just installing Microsoft Teams. And there it is. The action is now completed successfully. We have a success. So if we actually go back to our endpoints here, we click on our rich VM here, and we can click on missing updates. We will still see, there it is, and it is gone. So now we only have 4 missing updates, which just seem to be drivers and the definition update for the Microsoft Defender antivirus. So we can definitely launch all of these here. So let's just launch that security intelligence update. And we can deploy that just to show you guys how easy it is. So here we are just deploying that security intelligence update. We're going to click next. And again, if we had multiple agents here, you'd be able to deploy these updates across your 10 computers, your 10 servers, anything like that. And you would just have to click next. We can run it now and hit finish. That automation is going to go ahead and start, and it's going to patch that software. So now I do recommend you guys to actually go ahead and patch your VirtualBox systems using that manual action, of course, through the VirtualBox application itself, because it will not actually work through the Action1, just because they purely, you're just re-downloading VirtualBox and configuring it. But be aware, you can use Wuzza and Action1 together there to kind of detect the vulnerabilities and use Action1 to really kind of see what updates am I missing and then just deploy all of them. Now with driver updates, it is always good to make sure that everything is going to actually work properly. Most of the time they will, especially with just it being more than likely just security-based updates. But these are just drivers, so I'm going to go ahead and check them to make sure that everything looks fine. They do seem to actually just be really old drivers that actually just need to be installed and updated. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that these are actually legitimate. So do be aware, again, kind of similar to Wuzza, double check everything before just blindly running anything that you see and believing anything that you see, like we saw on Wuzza with the Steam vulnerability. Just because Steam is installed and updated in a weird way, the control panel sees the old vulnerable version, but Steam is actually fully up to date. You just have to go check it in a different way. And we can see these different vulnerabilities, which here you can actually see the vulnerabilities on which Win 11, there are none, which we know based on Wuzza, there was quite a few. And we know firsthand the VirtualBox vulnerability does exist. So that's why it is always handy to have multiple pieces of software, and more than none, usually the paid ones usually do provide you a little bit more accuracy, especially when you're looking at Nessus and Wuzza versus just Action1. Action1 will be a little bit limited. Action1 I prefer mostly for kind of that patch management and endpoint management, to be able to just deploy software really easily, deploy updates really easy. You can also see that you can run scripts. You can reboot that host machine at a distance very easily. You can uninstall software very easily through it as well. So it is very, very handy. It is a very handy tool if you have people that you need to assist them, oftentimes with their computers. This is a great agent to install on their computer for them. So this way, if they need help installing software and the software is available on Action1, you can deploy it at a distance and help them that way. You can also verify your account, and you can do a remote desktop through the Action1 as well. We're going to be seeing that a little bit later on in the channel. There are a lot of new things coming. I have a very exciting announcement for you guys coming very soon as well. And like I said, I've announced it on that talking head video. We're going to have a lot of Microsoft 365 graph content with PowerShell, and it's going to tie into everything that we've been working on with our security videos here as well. But this will be kind of wrapping up our cybersecurity lab setup for beginners. So you guys have a very, very solid home lab to kind of work with a Linux machine. You guys have some Windows servers that you guys can bring up, especially with all the other home lab videos. Let me know what else you guys would like to actually see as well, and we could take a look at all the different things that you guys would like to take a look at. There's still going to be the Action1, how to deploy software remotely, how to verify your account, and anything that's related to that. And then we're going to be jumping into that Microsoft 365 Azure with the Graph API and how to use PowerShell with that, because I know that that's been something a lot of you guys have been asking for. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also, be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified when that next video comes out, and I will see you guys on the next video.